what you do needs to equal what you say, and what you say needs to equal what you do. When it comes to being a parent, your greatest form of teaching is not the words that you will speak first and foremost, but it will be the example that you set to your children. If you tell them, I want you to live a certain way, if you say, I want you to pray, are you praying? If you say, I want you to learn to read your Bible, are you reading your Bible? If you say, I want you to learn the value of being in church, are you setting the example of going to church on a regular basis? If you want to teach your children the example of generosity, are you generous? If you want to teach them the power of giving to God, are you giving to God? We could just go on and on about every realm of life, and it all starts with example. And so you have to understand as a parent, the first job that you have is to make sure that you're living a life that you want your children, your grandchildren, your nephews, your nieces to emulate. You want them to follow your example. This is what Paul says in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11. He says, follow my... Notice he didn't say words. What did he say here? Help me out, church. What? Follow my example, just as I follow the example of Christ. So Paul says, I'm going to seek to set the example of living a life that will honor and glorify Christ. I'm going to ask you now, he's speaking to the Corinthian believers, to follow me as I'm following Jesus. If I stop following Jesus, you stop following me. But as long as I'm following Jesus, I'm going to set an example for you. This doesn't mean that any of us are perfect. It's not going to mean that we nail it all the time. It does mean that when we miss it and miss the mark, that we're willing to acknowledge that. But it all starts with setting the right example here.